अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So my sincere gratitude to the assembled devotees. I'm really grateful to you for giving me your association. That gives me a chance to go through the Acharya's books in some depth. So my humble request to you is, please ask doubts. Even if you think something is insignificant or something cannot be answered, please do ask. Gives us a chance to agitate in our mind. And then actually, advancement in Krishna consciousness means overcoming all misgivings and all doubts. We should not try to bury some doubts in some corner of the mind, thinking, okay, in due course of time, it may be. Don't do that. Ask. If you don't understand, you ask again. Then, at some point of time, if you feel that the depth is a little high, then you can hold it. But there should be conviction that all these doubts have answers, and acharyas have asked more doubts than we can imagine. So there are answers to all our doubts. Let us have that conviction. Even though we may not be able to understand in great depth, but at least to the extent of settling our doubts, we should ask. So, last session about the second shower, we were seeing about the anishtita bhajana kriya. Anishtita. When someone has not become very stable, have reached a vyavasatmika buddhi, nishta stage, until they have not reached that bhajana kriya is called anishtita. We saw all these 6 stages that one will go through. Interestingly, can you see these 6 steps as a ladder? You are seeing it on the screen, Mataji? Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. These
Yes,
6 items, can you see them as a ladder, or is it just a random arrangement of stages? What do you think?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat pranams Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Utsahamai, initially how I can only relate my example.
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Please do. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yes,
what we
sir.
want. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, when I came to Krishna consciousness, I feel that I had so much of enthusiasm. I was like posting so many messages in the group and doing so much. And that Utsaha was there, like over enthusiasm. So like how Sunita Mataji said that. And it does not make any impact, Prabhuji, for the people around to bring them. In my personal case, I'm telling Prabhuji. And then yes, Prabhuji, I can relate. And then Vishaya Sangara. So now I can relate, Prabhuji.
What Ganatarla? You didn't speak about Ganatarla.
I'm not able to understand that, Prabhuji, because the last class I missed it. But
Oh,
Utsahamai and then Vishaya Sangara and
no,
all that. And
I will tell you what Ganatarla. Let Sunila Mataji answer that. Ganatarla.
Prabhuji, actually, I wanted to ask you about one line, Prabhuji, like Utsaha Mai Ganatarla, even I missed that.
Okay.
I was there for Niyama Niyama
Oh,
Akshama.
Nemakshama. Okay, and
And the
Tarangarangan.
Tarangarangan.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anyone else was here? Sureshwari Mataji was there. You can try to recall what we discussed there. Ganatarala, Vyuda Vikalpa.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, about last class you are telling Prabhuji, huh?
Yeah, no, I think this was discussed the class before the last one. We were discussing.
Prabhuji, when we move the continuity, it becomes very difficult, Prabhuji. Even to find the classes also. So
Oh,
very difficult it was like for me, Prabhuji.
oh,
Last,
are you not able to locate the recordings?
not in a sequential order, Prabhuji. So that is why
Oh,
I,
some work has to be done then. Okay, okay, okay. I will see it in the channel and try to fix it. So let me quickly go through this. Utsahamayi, like Mataji just now told, Utsahamayi, we get a feeling initially, oh, this is amazing, because until we came to Krishna consciousness, so many things we did not know. We did not even realize there is a goal. There is a goal in life. And that is itself a great revelation, something to work for. Otherwise, we all thought, oh, one day I have to die. I don't know how I have been born. Death is the end of everything. Birth is the beginning of everything. And somehow, having come here, I should just pass my time. I am just this body. The body dies. And even people who have some inclination in spirituality, their understanding is also very rudimentary. They cannot explain. If you ask 2 3 more questions, they cannot explain a purpose. Initially they'll say, yeah, there is a purpose, there is a power behind everything, the power has created everything, it is immanent in all that you see around you, whether it is prakata or aprakata, visible, invisible, manifest, unmanifest, that is spreading everywhere. They will say all these things. Then you ask, why all this? Why all the trouble of creating this? If it was formless, why it created a form? And what is the purpose? And we are all struggling. We are trying to get back to formlessness. I don't know. There may be some exceptions among you. But as far as I was concerned, I was always questioning this from my childhood. Because the answer I was always getting never satisfied me, that we have come from formlessness, that is Brahman. The Brahman has become all the living entities in the material world around you. And you have to struggle so much, practice Nishtha, you have to practice Ashtanga Yoga or whatever techniques, or Nishkamya Karma Yoga, anything, to once again become formless, become nothing. From nothing back to nothing. And in between, so much ado, so much suffering, so much misery, so much heart beating. Why, they cannot explain. I have never found anyone who can explain. So in all these years, I have gone to so many movements. And every time, if I got some extra bit of knowledge, I was happy for some time. Just a little bit extra knowledge. Oh, this seems to be good. And this must be it, like that. But then very soon, I found, no, they still don't have the answer. This lack of answer is what drove me. And finally, just by an accident, it came into ISKCON. And will you believe, on day one, all my doubts got answered. Day one of my entry into ISKCON Temple Chowpatty in Bombay, all my problems are solved. I had all the answers. After that, just trying to dig and understand deeper. But what was haunting me for many years of my life, at the age of 44, everything fell into place. I was very happy. So why I am saying this is, people don't know that there is a purpose in life. And knowing that purpose is practically everything. From that point, your life acquires a meaning. And you have an explanation why you are suffering. Otherwise, we don't know why I am suffering. I have so many desires. I am trying to fulfill those desires, but I am not getting them fulfilled. On the contrary, I am getting frustrated. Why all this is happening? If I am God, why? In fact, the more you try to think I am God, the more frustrated you become. Oh, if I am God, then there is no one can help me. Yeah, I am the greatest. I am the God himself. So how can I go to anyone for help? So thinking I am God is the worst situation in the spiritual path. Prabhupada says this is the last snare of Maya. In many places you will see Prabhupada saying, this is the last snare of Maya. What is that? I am God. In the beginning, you try to enjoy material sense gratification. You become frustrated. Some people keep trying, many lifetimes. But somebody realizes, oh, it's all ultimately old age, disease, death. Whether you accept rebirth or not, even then, it's frustrating only. Ultimately, death ends everything. And life is going to become more and more miserable. I am talking for myself. I have reached such an age. If I was a material person, materialistic person, what do I have to look forward to in life? Simply becoming older, my bodily organs, both externally and internally, they will become weaker and weaker. I may get a sudden shock from a doctor when I go for some consultation, or gradually old age will take over me and I won't be able to do many things that I am doing. Right now, I am unable to do many things I used to do in the past. But going forward, even what I am doing now, gradually, I will lose those faculties. Right? Pains take over many people. Relations fall apart. However much you love them and they love you, they can't give you much time. And you will sympathize. Oh, people have so many problems. How can I expect my children to be there for me all the time? But please remember, a few generations ago, the whole existence revolved around the family. For the children, father and mother were everything. The focus was always on the older generation. Younger children grew up by just watching their parents, because this is called samskar. The samskar of earlier life of the existence we had under Varnashrama system. Everyone learned by just watching the seniors. There was not much time given to the young ones. Fortunately, they did not have this toxic education what we are having now. By the time your child is 4 or 5 years, toxic education has already taken over. That is the way the degradation of Kali is happening. So in those days, the focus was on the elders. Son, daughter-in-law, they focus on the parents. Parents are more important, they take care. Children grow up by themselves. And children, just by watching the parents, they in turn, when they grow up, they will be caring for their own parents. This is samskar. And their life will be happy because, see, looking after the parents in old age is basically what you call a duty. So you realize, I have to live my life with a sense of duty, whether you know purpose or not. Purpose may not be known, because for purpose you have to come to your guru, your bona fide guru. But even without that, in a Varnashrama system, your life is guided by a sense of duty. And in a sense of duty, you don't demand too much for sense enjoyment, because you are so busy executing your duty, and actually you feel fulfillment in doing that. Because it is in your DNA. You start relishing that. So that way, the sense of duty is what guides a Varnashrama person. They are actually, the time for sense gratification is very, very little. Actually, there is hardly any thinking. They have no time. Not that they are running like mad, but they are actually fulfilling their duties and they are very happy. And if you see, the scriptures talk about so many debts, right? Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Apt, and Ranam, Pitrunam, 6 kinds of debts. And within each debt, there are so many sub-debts. Deva, Devatas, how many Devatas we talk about? 33 crore Devatas we talk. And we are indebted to them because those Devatas are operating every little part of your body. You cannot operate your body. By now we know, no, having gone through Bhagavad Gita, we know that the Devatas are in charge of all our faculties. And there are so many functions. See, even the modern scientists say one cell is a complete self-contained factory. The processes in one cell is more than 2,000 identified so far. In terms of creating some new compounds and utilizing them, then excreting the waste and doing so many functions in coordination with the rest of the body. More than 2,000 functions. So many chemicals are produced in our cell. And the cell, when the time comes, it divides and it dies. It's all perfectly coordinated. So one cell, they're finding it so much difficult to understand. So that way, when we are talking about the various kinds of debts we have, for Devatas, every part of our body, for its functioning, it is indebted to some Devata or the other. So for Devatas, you have to do so many pujas, so many vrats and all those things. Then the Rishis has given you all the scriptures. Without the scriptures, you will simply not move forward. Whether it is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, anything you take, there are the scriptures the Rishis has given, and you are taking the benefit of that. So Rishi, Bhuta, all living entities, Apta, friends and relatives, Nrinam, the whole human society, Pitrinam, your ancestors who have departed, or maybe alive, yeah, who only departed, ancestors who are alive also. These are the debts that one is constantly busy executing and remains happy. The husband and wife, they share in executing these duties. And they're all happy because this is what everybody did, and they did also. So that was a sense of happiness. So the point I'm making is either you should have the purpose clearly known to you through a guru, or you should be in a varnashrama system where you are totally guided by a sense of duty. You don't search for anything. You are happy executing your duties because everybody did that. But now you see in the modern world, we neither have a sense of purpose in our life, nor we have a sense of duty. So we are all headless chicken, like Shashi Tharoor says. We are running headless. He says only, if the head of the chicken is cut, the chicken continues to run for some time, aimlessly here and there. The head is not there. The brain is not there, but still it keeps running. So we are all running like that without knowing any purpose. Just see outside. Yesterday I saw, maybe I'm digressing, I'm sorry, but these are things I strongly feel about. Yesterday, one actor he has started a new party in Tamil Nadu. He was going around from place to place, and this entire city got paralyzed. From the young children to old people, of course, a lot of them are in the age group of maybe 15 to 30 or so. Boys, girls, everyone running like mad. Vehicles are coming and they may fall in front of the vehicles. They don't care. They're sometimes holding each other's hands, sometimes leaving the hands and running, thinking, oh, the actor's car is coming here, here, here. Imagine how fortunate we are. We have Krishna, who is a real hero. Not only he is a real hero, he loves us, he helps us, and we want to go back to him. We are trying to develop our love towards him. How much our life has acquired meaning and how much joy. Whereas a person who is growing up without this knowledge, they are simply going towards oblivion and complete misery. The end stage is total misery. But still, the desire to live is so much that people want to know where I will get better insurance, where I will get better top up. I want these serious illnesses to be covered. I want existing illnesses to be. Oh my God, such madness that people want to live. For what you ask them, they don't know. Bhagavatam explains, Sukadeva Goswami, a person may live like a tree. A tree may live for 5,000 years, like in America, I have the redwood trees. 5,000 plus years. Imagine what all they have seen. Jesus came 2,000 years ago, but these trees are around 5,000 years. Even when Mahabharata war, these trees are. So they have been living. What is the use? They are just standing there. So a human being who lives like a tree, what is the use? And Sukadeva Goswami compares every part of the body to something or the other. His eyes are like the peacock feather. What is the use of that eye? It cannot even see. His hands are like a dead body's hands. His ears are like snake holes. His breathing is just like the bellows in a factory. It just bush, bush, bush is sending air. Like that he's breathing. What for he is breathing? No purpose. So like that, if we can really understand why we are here and what we are doing and what is the goal, which is that goal is not a destination for us. It is so very interesting because the ecstasy of prema, it has no limit. So for the first time, we realize there is endless possibility in prema, endless exchange of love, endless increase of rasa happens. Even Krishna doesn't know the limits of his potencies. That's how it is. Even Krishna doesn't know. If there is a limit, he will know. But because there is no limit, so Krishna doesn't know the limit of his potencies. This is the only weakness that Krishna has. His own limit to the potency he doesn't know. So now we know, oh, I am a spirit soul. I have eternal existence. And what does my existence consist of? Eternal joy, eternal ecstasy, eternal exchange of love with the Supreme Lord. All that I have to do is now start preparing myself. Oh my God, then this human form of life has become so valuable to me. How much more I will live? How much longer I will live? Death may overtake me anytime. How many more days I have to chant the japa? Oh my God, I am not chanting with full attention. I am not crying for Krishna. There is no feeling in my chanting. What can I do? Then you really cry. Oh my God, I have wasted so much of my life. I am mechanical. I don't have really any feelings for Krishna. How can I get it? Let me run into the association of devotees. Maybe they will help me. Let me go and beg them. Please, I must have done a lot of offenses. I'm not getting any ecstasy or any love in my heart. Please help me. Please pray for me. That kind of a mood comes to a devotee, and after that, there is no stopping. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, Api Adruvam Arthadam, this human form of life. Durlabam Manusham Janma. Human form is so very rarely obtained. And even though it is temporary, maybe 100 years, but then it is very, very meaningful. Only human form of life is meaningful. So that is what we are trying to understand. So here, and naturally, when you come to Krishna consciousness, that is where we started. Utsahamai. Oh my God. I don't know how many of you realize that. For the first time in my existence, I have meaning. Meaning. Till now, I went to temple only to pray for something, which is also temporary. Oh, can I get this? Can I get that? Can this problem go away? Can this opportunity be materialized? Can I get this particular happiness? That's what life was. Shop business dealings with God. We never knew who is God, what is my relationship with him, nothing. So on day one, I got this joy in ISKCON. So that is why actually a devotee in ISKCON does whatever he does, not out of a sense of um, getting something. Oh, I will get something. If I bring some devotees, then Krishna will be happy with me. Then he will give me something. No, because your gratitude has no limit. Even to appreciate what little I have got so far. I may not have got very much. I may not have got very little, but even this little, tell me something in this world to compare with it. The little thing what we have obtained. Tell me, is there any comparison? Why would Mahaprabhu say, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha Hai? Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hai. Lava is the smallest measure of time. The Western world doesn't know this particular measure of time. They may talk about nanosecond, etc. But this lava is even smaller than nanosecond. And Sukadeva Goswami says, even that, Mahaprabhu says, lava matra sadhu sangha, little, that much time if you get association. Sarva siddhi, it's complete success of your life. Why would anybody say that? Unless, it's not flippantly told. It's not very casually mentioned. They all have deep meaning. Because for the first time, the soul has got an opportunity to become freed from material attachments and go back home, back to Godhead, never to return again, and enjoy unlimited, ever-increasing happiness in his association, exchanging love, rasa, with Krishna and with so many unlimited devotees of Krishna. So many rasas are exchanged there. So this is what we have. So just to know that this is available to me, then you become filled with gratitude. After that, then we have to nourish that gratitude, what we have in our heart. Just by nourishing, we'll be able to do our services. Services not with any particular motive, because I have already received more than I deserve, much more than I deserve. So, Utsahamai, in that sense, yes, just coming into ISKCON, you are filled with Utsaha. Oh my God. Then you start thinking, the whole world should get it. And the message is so powerful. So, why people are not doing it? There are so many devotees here, simply sitting and doing some kirtan, simply sitting and talking some katha. Let them go out and then let them actively do Nagar Sankirtan, distribute the books, go door to door, let them preach, make everyone devotees. There will be no atheists or agnostics left. Let us do it. If nobody will do it, then I will do it. That is Utsaha. The problem is, then we start criticizing others who are already in the line. They have gone through this for whatever obstacles that they are facing. They are sincerely trying, but then Krishna's plan ultimately works. Not that I will desire and everything will happen. When Krishna desires, everything will happen. And Krishna's desire for me is that I should become purified. That is Krishna's desire for me. It is not that Krishna desires for me to transform the whole world. It may look like that. I can feel like that. But ultimately, Krishna's desire is let this one soul get purified. Let me give him some challenges. Let him get purified by swimming against the current of material existence. Let him get purified and come back to me. Otherwise, why he will travel as Paramatma within the body of everyone? Krishna is just trying to regain our association, reclaim us back to the spiritual world. So Utsahamayi is followed by Ganatarala. Then some kind of realistic assessment of the situation happens. Okay, people need Sukruti. They won't easily come to Krishna consciousness. I had some Sukruti. Maybe some devotee prayed for me. Maybe unconsciously, unwittingly, I did some seva. So I have now got. So then you come to the next stage of Ganatarala. Sometimes you feel enthusiastic, you do all your rounds one shot, and then you feel I will be able to sustain it. Then you again see some weakness, either because of some material sense gratification or because of some anartha interfering. You don't feel that the same bhava, same enthusiasm is not there. Again you get ghana, again you get tarala, right? Sometimes it is condensed feelings for Krishna, sometimes it is very loose, very diluted. That is Ganatharala stage. Then view the Vikalpa. Then, in your heart of hearts, you are thinking, oh my God, my advancement is not good enough. I must make rapid progress. Maybe I should take sannyas. Maybe I should take Vanaprastha. Maybe I should leave home. Maybe I should live in Radhakund, in Vrindavan. Maybe I should sit with the Babajis and learn how to do Raganuga Bhakti. Maybe I have to leave home. Or sometimes, no, even by living at home, I can make my whole family devotees. I can bring all my children to Krishna consciousness. In my place of work, I will make everybody devotees. My neighborhood, I will make them. So why should I take sannyas? Why should I leave? Now it is very difficult for someone to live in like that. If you read Madhurya Kadambini, many Shastric examples are given by Chakravarti Thakur to explain how in many ways from the scripture only, the devotee is agitating whether this is the right way, that is the right way. Sometimes scripture glorifies sannyas so much, then he wants to take sannyas. Sometimes it glorifies grihastha life. And he says, okay, I can remain like that. This is the third stage. Then the fourth stage is material sense gratification. On the one side, he's thinking whether he should take sannyas. There is a third stage. In the fourth stage, the sense gratification that we have enjoyed in so many lifetimes, it is so very strong. So we are fighting. Sangara means fighting. Vishaya means sense gratification. So it's a fighting. Again and again you lose. You fall down. Again you get up. Again you start fighting. This is the fight with Maya, material sense gratification. Sangara, it's a war. You fall down, fall down, fall down, fall down, fall down. But every time you get up, and you start continuing sadhana. This is part of your anishtita bhajana kriya, right? Fighting with material desires, because they will always come to catch you, whatever wrong we have done in terms of sense gratification. Now we are able to realize why sense gratification is dangerous, because we know, oh my God, I am falling down. Why did I cultivate this in the past? Why did I develop this bad habit of listening to cinema music or some pop music or going to some concerts and listening to some songs or going to some club or going to the movie, watching some serials? Why did I pick up all these things? Once upon a time, they gave me great pleasure. But today, they have become an obstacle in my path towards Krishna. I want to spit at the thought. Why these thoughts are coming to me? But then still you fall down, Vishaya Sangara. Then you come to make some resolutions. Niyama, Kshama, Akshama. You take some principle. Okay, now onwards, morning 3 o'clock, I will wake up. So that I will take my bath, freshen up myself. And then for the next 2 hours, non-stop, I will chant. Then I will do my deity worship. Then I will listen to some lectures. Like that, you make some, but then you are unable to keep it. One day you are able to keep, next day you are not able to keep. Niyama, akshama. You are forgiving. Okay, what to do? I made some resolutions, but I am not able to keep. Again, you make a resolution. Again, you make a resolution. That continues. And Tarangarangini is the ultimate stage where you have advanced in bhakti. Now also, anartha is not leaving you. Anishtita bhajana kriya, which is coming from the 5 things we saw, ignorance plus 4 more things. So bhakti produces some facilities for you. Puja, people start respecting a devotee. People start feeling, hey, You are so peaceful, you are so compassionate, you are so kind, and you are so detached. Like that, you will start getting appreciation. So there is puja. Then labha, money will start seeking you. If you take up some process of taking people for parikrama, for some yatra, or you start a small program, then people start coming and you start serving them some prasadam. Then somebody wants to sponsor the prasadam. Then you want to celebrate a Janmashtami festival. People start contributing. Lakshmi starts coming. So puja, labha, then pratishtha. Position comes. You have more and more people with you. Then they are raising you on a higher and higher pedestal. So there is tarangarangini. The benefits that are coming from bhakti, actually, this is not the goal of bhakti, but these are distractions. But without realizing that these are distractions, the reason I came into bhakti was none of these things. I never came for puja, labha, and pratishtha. But these are actually my obstacles. Then you struggle and overcome that also. These are the 6 stages. So, if you look at it very nicely, it is organized as a ladder, right? When a more advanced devotee will experience Tarangarangini stage ultimately, like waves on the ocean of bhakti, small waves. They are distractions actually. But if you fall for it, then that is another obstacle. So with this, we come to the third shower of nectar. I hope it is clear. Anyone wants some further clarifications on these 6 items?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that. Again, you gave us the feedback, Prabhuji. I mean, recap, Prabhuji, of all this. Prabhuji, what I feel is that they are not on the same sequential order in my case, I feel, Prabhuji. So I
Okay.
don't know whether I'm able to
Please tell
understand it
me.
properly.
Let us all hear that. Yeah, if you like to share.
It is not in the same sequence, Prabhuji, like how it has been given, Prabhuji. Utsahamai first, then Ganatarala, then
Ah,
Vyuda Vikalpa. It is not like that, Prabhuji. I'm able to understand that.
ah. You mean to
I'm
say
able to.
Gandharva can come first?
Hare
And
Krishna, Prabhuji.
yeah. Now, are you saying that some other item can come first?
Utsahamai is the first thing only, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Then uh, that Vishaya Sankara, now I'm able to understand that I'm going through something like that, Prabhuji, now. So it
Right.
is like that.
Yeah. Yeah, true. See, in one sense, all these 6 will be happening. Yes. It's not that one will end and then only we will go to the next one. Not necessarily. Because each of these things, anarthas, they may be with us until we reach the prema stage. Some shape or the other, with some intensity or the other, all these things could be there. But there is a logical sequence here. Only the logical part I'm telling. You are right. One can have simultaneously Vishaya Sangara and Ganatarala. It can be there. And but of course, Tarangarangini is something that if somebody gets Tarangarangini at an early stage, then they are doing something very wrong. Because Tarangarangini should come only when you become truly attractive by your spiritual practices, by your bhakti. Then you are advancing nicely, but these things come and then you fall down. Because there was some contamination in your consciousness that I wanted this, but in material life, I did not get it. But in my spiritual life, it is coming. So unconsciously, we may embrace it. But that way, that is more like, at a more advanced stage of it. The other items, I think, yeah, I will agree with you. They can change the sequence. But typically, I see Utsahamayi in many people who just enter, and I can relate with that. Because, as I said, for the first time, we got some meaning in life. That life has a meaning. That life has a meaning. That came only from ISKCON. Everybody else, any impersonalist philosopher, cannot give you an acceptable explanation why there is material creation. Without naming them, I will just tell you. There are some places where I thought I was very close to the answer. But even there, their explanation was, you are God, but the God should be always self-focused because God is Sachitananda. So you should just keep enjoying yourself. But sometimes your focus slightly, gets diluted. The focus on the self, Atmaram. When it gets slightly diluted, immediately 3 things happen. Immediately, that instant. What are the three things? Creation, God, and the individual soul, that is you. You come into existence, God comes into existence, and the entire creation comes in existence that moment. So you have to now trace back to that moment and again refocus on yourself. So then, if you ask, then why all these things? Why can't God remain self focused? Even that little thing God cannot do? Then they'll say, no, 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 it's all Leela. That's very good. You are not suffering now. They will keep on insisting, you are not suffering. Your suffering is an illusion. How do you like it? But now tell me, compare the two. Which one do you like? Krishna consciousness. I have gone quite many years into this, but I never found any answer that is really satisfies your heart. Because you were somewhere and you are trying to get back to that. You lost it. And you are the only one. See, Paramatma or Supreme is only one. That one has now become many out of foolishness, out of lack of self focus. And now God has come, self has come, creation has come, and he's struggling with so many rebirths and all that. And everything is illusion, and he's struggling to get out of illusion. So, who is more powerful? Prabhupada will ask. Illusion is more powerful, or God is more powerful? Because God is falling into the grip of illusion, then illusion becomes more powerful. Then you start worshipping illusion as Devi, Shakti. Now we know Shakti is always under the control of Shaktiman. Shaktiman never falls down into the grip of his Shakti, correct? Is it clear? Are you with me, or you have any thing that I have to explain further?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are able to understand. Again, we'll try to read and try to understand.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishnamurti Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhuji, I want one small clarification or your directions, Prabhuji. So, what is meant by Vanaprastha? I am 70 plus. How I has to be? I have to accept for this.
Prabhu, Prabhu, don't worry. See, neither Brahmacharya exists nor Grihastha Ashrama exists today. So don't talk about Vanaprastha. You can just understand the principle behind it and live in that consciousness at home. Try to imbibe that consciousness and live at home. You can be a Vanaprastha at home. These things are not practical. If you see what is prescribed for a Vanaprastha, you will faint. But for that matter, even if you read what is prescribed for a Grihastha, you, you will be flummoxed. You cannot understand what is all this. Impossible. So, Varnashrama in practice existed once upon a time. Now, Varnashrama in principle can exist in our consciousness. That is very good. The principle is why there are 4 ashramas that everyone has to go through. Then clearly we understand we have to get spiritual knowledge first. Spiritual knowledge will teach you that you have to follow dharma, and whatever yearnings you get, that should be by following the path of dharma only. And that yearnings, you should use it for legitimate sense gratification within limits. Because that is part of Grihastha life, not in Brahmacharya. Actually, Brahmachari life is not at all for sense gratification. Today, look at our children. No?
Yes.
They are so lost in sense gratification. I am talking about children who are studying, who are Brahmachari. Now, today, they are all tempted. Why co-education at all? Tell me. Why? Problem starts very early. And they start watching TV at home. TV is in the bedroom, TV is in the living room, TV is everywhere. Children are polluted at a very, very early age. So, Brahmacharya is for austerity. Then you know the purpose of life in the Brahmacharya life. And then you knowingly you enter Grihastha life if you cannot control your senses, that you really want to have that little license. Prabhupada will say little license for sense gratification in a Grihastha life. But Grihastha life is full of duties. So much duties that it doesn't give you much time for sense gratification. For a Grihastha, this is how life was organized once upon a time. Because the ancestors, the rishis and the munis, the manus, they were very eager to take us back home, back to Godhead, which is the place of true enjoyment. So they wanted to control our sense gratification, that we will not fall down. They wanted to minimize our sense gratification by filling our life with duties. And so, even as a grihastha, you know that one day I have to leave home. Just imagine this. I have to leave home. By the time I am 50, 55, 60, I must leave home with my wife. So then you will know, even as a grihastha, let us say you become a grihastha at the age of 22, 23, 24, you get married. Then only you know another 30 years I have. Then I have to leave everything and go.
Yes.
Then you know life becomes very focused. Whatever you want to achieve in these 30 years, produce children, bring them up nicely, settle them in life, and then leave everything and go. So every ashrama, you are preparing for the next ashrama. Like that. Vanaprastha and sannyasa, not much difference. Only difference is in Vanaprastha, a man is allowed to take his wife along with him so that she will also develop detachment. Actually, they don't live like husband and wife in the Vanaprastha stage. Only they do their respective roles, but beyond that, there is no connection between them. They just live like that, visiting holy places, taking darshan, taking association of saintly persons, living a life of complete austerity. Then, when they are mature, the man will return the wife to live with the grown-up son, and man will go alone into sannyas. That part of life, he depends completely on Krishna. There is no bank balance for him. Even at the Vanaprastha stage, in those days it was like. So for us, it is a consciousness that even when I am living, when I am old now, see, when I am now, I am nearing 70. So I should realize, array, this was the time people were in Vanaprastha. More than 10 years they have already completed. I am still looking at my children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. I am worrying, oh, this child is in KG, not studying well. What getting into loops, you know?
The thing is,
Yes.
ultimately, we must be right from morning, early morning, we wake up till night. We must be in Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
We are not supposed to think of anything else other than Krishna.
Yes.
Is it?
Always remember Krishna is the principle.
Once I asked one Prabhuji, he told me very one word. If you want to be a Vanaprastha, you want to lead Brahmanastha, Vanaprastha life, you be in Krishna conscious 24 hours. That's all.
That's a very good answer.
Very good. And in another class, one Mataji, it's little bit modified. Anything happens in your family, by saying, don't give importance for all those things. You be in Krishna consciousness. See, get lost from that place. You be in Krishna consciousness. So I get some another clarification at your end that it's my to make myself confirm to be in Krishna consciousness in 24 hours. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So actually, to to always keep your mind on Krishna, we have to have the philosophy. Otherwise, because number one, right now, we don't have that kind of attraction for Krishna. We don't have prema. A person at the prema level cannot take the mind away from Krishna. Uddhava goes to the gopis and tells them, just take Krishna away from your mind. You know, you meditate on the supreme absolute truth, on Paramatma. They say, no, that is our problem. We cannot take him out. He has come in, now he's not going out. We cannot take him out, even for a moment. So, but we are not at that stage. So we cannot do the 24-hour Krishna consciousness. So what we have to do, simultaneously, we should realize the temporariness of this material world. We should simultaneously do this. We should realize that nothing is temporary. My relationships within the family, they have come temporary. Even my own body.
Yes.
Asmita. How did I identify myself with this body? This child, as a child, I was born 68 years ago. How did I identify myself with this body? What happened? So that temporality of existence, how everything is temporary only, how we are getting so much attached to that. Dhyayate vishayan pumsa sankasteshu bhajayate. How did I get this attachment? So that also we have to contemplate, because we cannot keep mind on Krishna all the time. So on the one side, the futility of material existence, we can contemplate on that. So Krishna will say in 13th chapter Bhagavad Gita, from shloka number 5 to 8, he says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshan. You should constantly meditate on Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. Why? You should meditate on Krishna only. Mamche Vibhicharena Bhakti Yoga Mamche Vibhicharena. That is one more item, he says. You should always worship me. You should surrender to me. Then you should approach a spiritual master. This is also there. But same time, he says, but you should always meditate on this.
Prabhuji.
So,
Yes.
substratum, you should always remember this material world is temporary, but my soul is eternal. My relationship with Krishna is eternal. My exchange of prema with him is eternal. So what is this temporary life? Like that. But at the same time, it is not that we should become detached from our family. It is not possible. So internally, we should become detached. Externally, we should give them the affection that they deserve. But internally, we should remain detached. That is something we have to do by meditating on all these things. And so that these relationships are temporary. And how long I can look after them, even if I am very much attached to them, even if I really want to look up. If my breathing stops, what can I do? Or if I am in the hospital, however much I want to serve them, now they have to serve me. The whole reversal. As long as I have some strength in my body, I want to serve them. But then I am growing old. I'll be in the hospital and they will all have to serve.
Yes.
So we are all like undependable, saviors. We are undependable. Only dependable savior is Krishna. So best thing is that, okay, let me pray to Krishna to take care of my family and all these people to whom I have attachment. Rightly or wrongly, I have developed this. I know this is temporary. I know my attachment to my body itself is wrong. And all other relationships came out of my bodily attachment. So let me develop internally this mood. So there, your love of Krishna, however weak it might be, will be supported by your meditating on the temporary nature of material existence, so that you will develop detachment. Right? So both can be practiced. In practical terms, I'm saying.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, particularly what your counsel is Janma Mritu Jara Vyadhi.
That Krishna says, Anudarshana. You should constantly remember that. So just like remembering Krishna 24 hours, you should remember this also 24 hours.
At any moment, it will cause, it will alarm us. So we must be aware of that.
Yeah. And when we come old, like Dasarath in Ramayana, it says, Dasarath was ruling the kingdom. Ramchandra was there. It was time to anoint him as the prince, but he was delaying. Then one day, he was standing in front of the mirror and looking at himself. Then there was a gray hair near the ear, and it was speaking to him. It was speaking into the ear. See, you are becoming old. The gray hair spoke to him. Like that, so many symptoms in our life appear to indicate you are becoming old. It is paining here, it is paining there. I'm not able to walk as fast as I used to do before. I'm not able to run. I'm not able to jump over obstacles. And my teeth are becoming loosened. My hearing is failing. My eyesight. Everything is indication. Nature is giving. Come on, detach.
Alarming.
Hare Krishna.
This session, and then particularly explained your counsel has explained very, very beautifully with your imprints and in my heart. A great Dandavat Pranams, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the third shower is about anartha nivritti. Earlier we saw anishtita bhajana kriya. That means your bhakti process itself is anishtita. It is not very stable. It's not very steady. But here we are going to talk about how the anarthas will gradually get cleared and the various types of anarthas. So we saw 4 types of anarthas. Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says there are only 3. How? One is dushkrutotha anartha. Second one is sukrutotha anartha. That means because of the sinful activities I have done in the past, some anarthas arise out of that. And because of the pious activities I've done in the past, some anarthas arise out of that. What is that? By the wrong actions I have done, I get suffering. By the good actions I have done, right, some happiness will arise. But both are temporary and both are obstacles. So that way, whether it is out of piety or impiety, the result is obstacle only. So they say both as dushkrutota, wrongdoing. Pious activity also is wrongdoing from a devotee perspective. You won't go and tell this to a non-devotee. But from a devotee point of view, anything that delays you from going back to Krishna, that is an obstacle. So that way, if you enjoy punya, for example, you have done a lot of punya in this lifetime, you go to heaven. Then in heaven, you may live for, 36,000 years or something like that. And then you will again come back to this planet. By the time, there will be no Krishna consciousness. This ISKCON would have disappeared, only 10,000 years. So Sukritota Anartha, because of Punya, if you go to heaven, you miss this chance. Then Mahaprabhu will appear only in the next day of Brahma. So just to understand, getting a perspective, even pious activity is not good from a devotee point of view. Yes, you can do pious activity without attachment for your purification. Say, for example, you are going to a restaurant, you should not go. Assuming you are going there and you see a beggar and you just eat without giving something to the beggar, that will harden your heart. So rather, you give them some alms, not because you are helping them or you are trying to earn some piety out of that. No, simply that your heart should not become so hard that someone is suffering and you are heartlessly enjoying some ice cream on the roadside bar, and then a poor man is begging, you neglecting. So because we need soft heart to advance in devotion. So for that purpose, but pious activities are done specifically to earn punya, to enjoy later on. So that way, these are two types. Then aparadota. Aparadota means in devotional service you commit some offenses. They create anarthas. And finally, uh, uh, aparadota, then imperfectly performed bhakti. Bhaktiyotta, that we saw just now, Tarangarangini, the problems that arise out of improperly performed bhakti. You get attracted to the wrong things, which are temporary things, they are actually distractions. So these are the four things we started discussing in the last session. So I will continue from where we left. There is only 3 minutes left, so we will take up tomorrow. Of course, we will not do this recapping. We will go straight away into the further points. So here we saw so many shlokas are quoted from Bhagavata and Padma Puran, etc. A person who is following bhakti, he will not fall down. Like that Bhagavatam says. It is even if he runs with his eye closed. Imagine, a person has got eyes, but purposely he is keeping the eyes closed and he is running. Still, he will not fall down. This example Krishna gives to show how bhakti is very safe to perform. In bhakti, there is no loss and it is completely safe. Whereas in other processes, whether it is karma, jnana, or ashtanga yoga, if you make mistakes, you are punished for it. Your entire spiritual life may be stalled for many, many lifetimes. But here in bhakti, even if you omit to perform some of the angas out of ignorance, then still you will not get sin or you will not get reactions for that. Whereas in karma yoga, if you do a yajna, if you make mistakes, you will get reactions for that. Right? There are so many examples of that. So closing the eyes, what is the meaning of closing the eyes and running? Vishwanath Chakravarti explains, closing the eyes does not mean ignorance of Shruti and Smriti, that he doesn't know Shruti and Smriti, not like that. Since that contradicts the meaning of the statement, he has eyes. That means he knows the scripture. Scripture is our eyes. So he has knowledge of scripture. He has the eyes, but he closes the eyes. So what is the meaning of this? So further, Vishwanath Chakravarti, this is all what I used to say. Purvapaksha arguments. He is arguing like an atheist. What is the meaning? What is the meaning like that? One should not also say that he commits the 32 seva aparats but receives no effect from it. At the same time, we should not say that somebody is committing all kinds of aparats in bhakti, but still he gets no reaction. That is also not correct. Since the verse states that he takes shelter of the method described by the Lord. Let me continue. Even I have some doubts here. Let us proceed. Acts like going in front of the Lord, wearing shoes, or riding in a palanquin are forbidden. You should not wear shoes and go in front of the Lord. We know that. Westerners don't know. This is one example. Or you cannot go in front of the Lord in a palanquin. Only the Lord should be in a palanquin. You should be on foot only. So these kinds of mistakes are aparadas. As concerning seva aparadas, it is also said, he who commits offenses to the Lord is a two-legged animal. To the Lord, if you do aparats in your seva, whether it is making offerings or maybe dressing the deities or bathing them or any kind of upacharas that they are doing, if you commit offenses, person is a two-legged animal. So seva aparadas are condemned in the scriptures. While doing seva, one should not commit aparad. If the nama aparadas, whether long-standing or recent, nama aparads, we are chanting the 10 aparads every day. They may be long-standing or recent, have been committed unconsciously, but their presence is indicated by the result. See, we might have done nama aparad unconsciously long time ago, but still you can feel the results by the lack of advancement, the lack of taste in chanting. That means I have done aparads. I may be doing now also, or I may have stopped doing, I may have done it before, but then it will clear only gradually. So what to do in that case? If I am suffering from nama aparada reactions, the only recourse is to chant the name constantly. The only solution is to chant more. Chant more. You have no other parihara. The offenses in chanting, the only parihara is chant more. Right? By that, steadiness in bhakti will gradually be attained and offenses will be neutralized. If nama aparad is committed in full knowledge, then the following points must be taken into account. Supposing we are still doing nama aparad consciously, then that will be discussed in the next few paragraphs. So tomorrow, I will clarify the last 2 paragraphs in greater detail and then we'll proceed further. So thank you very much for joining. Tomorrow we'll continue the discussions, 6 to 7. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai. Vishesh Prabhu, you want to ask something?
Thank you, Prabhuji. You've thrown a lot of clarity on so many issues. And I feel much, much more knowledgeable now than I was before.
Thank you, Prabhu. This process will continue till eternity. We will
Yes,
keep on learning.
it's continuous. No, but you made it sort of simple for us. There's basically, every person has to select his own level of consciousness, and you can't have a universal prescription for everybody. But you did teach us, yes, being a grahastha itself, what you can do. It does not mean everyone can become a sannyasi and abandon your duties. So do your duties without detachment is the key. And what you earlier said about pinpointing all your faculties, all your senses to the service of the Lord, I think that something simple can be derived with something which everybody can do.
Exactly,
Thanks.
exactly. So we are aware of our goal, and that is a permanent thing. And there are temporary obstacles that we are facing here. So we should not get trapped in these temporary obstacles. That may, mean that I lose a lot of time. Of course, I have unlimited time. As a spirit soul, I have unlimited time. But in this human body, it is temporal. It may not last for many, many years. So
Actually,
even though
Prabhuji,
it
I
is
was thinking,
temporary, it is very meaningful. We should derive that meaning from this human existence. We should not miss that opportunity. We should not become
actually,
casual. So how to avoid that? We should remain in devotee association. Meaning, we should be either reading books or hearing lectures of Srila Prabhupada or by personally discussing with devotees. Some way or the other, we should remain engaged in this kind of activities. Yes, Prabhu.
no, Prabhuji, I was just thinking of 2 things. Basically, we've been repeating this at several forums, 10 offenses to the holy name. I actually find that basically that one single offense, the last one, it is improper to be inattentive while chanting. That alone will take care of all the others. Basically, what you need to do is concentrate. Not when you're chanting, thinking of something else. That is the most difficult thing to do. Thoughts keep coming. Thoughts have to be driven away. In fact, I read somewhere, the Gita only probably said that make the mind your friend, not an enemy. The mind can be an enemy as well, can be a friend as well. So make the mind your friend. So how do you make it your friend? That is probably the biggest challenge that you need to.
That's by acquiring knowledge. We acquire knowledge. And that is the whole package of ISKCON. By reading Bhagavad Gita, by reading Bhagavatam, discussing with devotees, coming into Satsanga, our knowledge is, true knowledge comes. Whatever knowledge we thought was knowledge in the past, actually it's all ignorance. So this avidya will be slowly cleared. So that is on the one side we are doing, but this alone is not sufficient. On the other side, we are also chanting the holy names of the Lord. One side we are getting knowledge, other side we are chanting. So this 2-pronged process, it gradually clears the anarthas and produces love for Krishna in the heart. So these two
Yeah.
things we need to constantly.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So thank you. I will close the session.
Thank you, Prabhuji.